All right. This is just, we're one example, one of each. All right, determine the equation of the axis of symmetry. So make sure you read. Look, it says the equation. So you know it's an equation. And then your axis of symmetry is the line that makes it symmetrical. So x equals 4. Perfect. And it's always x equals 4 because it's always crossing. If you actually draw the line, I have to open this, just draw on my computer. If you're actually drawing the line, it's going to cross the x-axis at 4. So that's why it's x equals 4. Come on. I should just always open this before you guys get here. It takes so long.
But sometimes it goes, if it's not 1 point, it's this other thing, you gotta click right on this.
Yep. Yep, there's also one where it's 2 points. So vertex, really quickly, vertex is how many points, or is it an equation? Equation, point, or 2 points? Your vertex, is that an equation, a point, or 2 points? Your vertex right here.
Oh.
That's your vertex. So vertex is always 1 point. And so your answer will be x comma y. Your axis of symmetry, line of symmetry, they even give you the hint, like the last question we worked, it's an equation. And on this one, that's where it's symmetrical. It always goes through your vertex. So that's where it's symmetrical, and it's going through the x-axis. So your equation is always x equals -7. And then another thing I'll ask for, I think, on this one is the roots. Roots, solutions. It can be 1 point or 2 points. Yeah, so where you cross your x-axis. So sometimes, like here, this one, it crosses twice. Usually it'll cross twice, but you'll get like one random one where it only crosses once. So if it's 2 points like this one, I wrote over it. So -6, 0, -8, 0. So this one asks for the vertex. So you're going to put 1 point, -7, 1. That's the vertex again. Here's the roots. So this one asks for the roots, and it crosses twice. It crosses once here and once here. And it's -3, 0, -1, 0. Your root, this one asks for the roots, the coordinates. It even tells you coordinates of the roots. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You can put -1 first. You can do -1 here and -3 here. It's not listing them in order. It's just saying what they are. Okay. Vertex. Roots. All right, I think that exhausts this category. So vertex is 1 point. Wait, let me do one that's opening up. because we did one opening down already. There we go. There's one opening up. So this one asks for the roots, but let's talk about everything. So your vertex, -7, -1. Make sure you put the x, then y. X, y, z, right? If you ever get into the third dimension in math, there is actually a z. Like you write a coordinate as x, y, z. Just a little. AOS, axis of symmetry, is always an equation. X equals -7. And then this one's asking for our roots, I think. -6, 0. And what were you saying? Yes. -6, 0, -8, 0. So those are all the 3 types of questions for this one type. Hey, was this the same question we were looking at earlier? Interesting. All right. There you go with that. And now let's go to a different type of question. So that's parabola features. And then we have finding the axis of symmetry from an equation. And it says algebraically. So I'm going to show you algebraically. So all these equations are y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. To find your axis of symmetry, given an equation, it's x equals, what were we doing yesterday? What's our equation from yesterday? Over 2a, yeah. So a is 3, b is -48, and c is 177. So x equals, now it's a -48 and a negative b. So you can write it like that, negative b and a -48. 2 negatives. So if this is negative, but a negative and a negative makes it positive. So you don't even have to put 2 negatives if you already know it's going to be a positive. That just makes it look confusing. I see some people say if there's already a negative there and I'm putting a 48, they just make it the second negative the positive line. Whatever helps you remember, those 2 negatives are going to become a positive. And then 2 times a is 3. So 48 divided by 2 times 3. So 48 divided by 6. So 8. Nice job. 8. And it says find the equation of axis of symmetry. So remember, equation is x equals. The difference between an equation and an expression is the equal sign. So your answer is x equals 8. Do you want to do another one of this? How are you going to check your answer before you hit submit? How can we check our answer? Look, I want you to be able to solve it algebraically, but you can also just graph it. This doesn't work, but at least it will. Oh, it did work. Look at that. That's so exciting. All right. And so our line of symmetry, which we said our axis of symmetry is right here at 8. So we got it right. So x equals 8. So negative and negative equal to positive. What about this one? Make it a little harder. So we're still finding our axis of symmetry. X equals negative b over 2a. Get a sheet of paper. Take some notes. Get a sheet of paper. Take some notes. You can use your notes in your quiz. You gotta have them written down. Okay. Huh?
She said, but I didn't know that. Some of it more than me. And we could use it.
That's awesome. I just think it's fair if your kids at home virtually are using notes. It's not fair to be like, no, you can't use your notes if you're in class. I just like to be fair. Okay, remember a is always the number in front of x squared. B is always the number in front of x. 0, nice job. If it's not written, it's a 0. This is 3x squared plus 0x. Well, that's just 0, so that's why they don't write that. Adding 0 to something doesn't change anything. Plus 18. X equals negative 0 over 2 times 3. Negative 0. New pencil, paper. Negative 0 divided by 6. What's 0 divided by 6? 0. Yeah, so our line Yep. On your EOC, you're also allowed to use a calculator. So that's what I'm trying to prepare you for. All right. So x equals 0. So I'm going to write this here. So this is all given a graph, right? So given an equation, your axis of symmetry, x equals negative b over 2a. And we did 2 of those. Now we're going to find our vertex given equation. This one. And to find your vertex, first you have to find your axis of symmetry. So you still have to do negative b over 2a. So a is, b is, and c is. A is 4, b is 16, c is 36. Those are some pretty big numbers. So negative b over 2a, negative 16 over 2a is 4. 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. And yeah, the whole equation. I'm getting there. So 16 divided by 8 is 2. But a negative and a positive will be a negative 2. So your axis of symmetry is negative 2.
I was adding.
So negative 2 will be the first part of your vertex. So whatever you get for your axis of symmetry is always the x of your vertex. And then you have to solve for y. Then we have to solve for y. So I have negative 2 in an equation. So to find y, I just plug negative 2 in. Anytime you see an x. Let's see if it works. Oh, somebody showed me this. Look, there's no a calculator right here. I did not know this. Wait, I didn't know it? Yeah, I didn't know it. It's always another screen calculator. Real sad. I should have known it. The answer there? Do I have to enter? Oh, I can't put y equals. Put y equals. So my answer is, what do you think? Does that say 20? What's this answer right here? 20? Yeah, it looks like 20. 20. So I plugged it in. I plugged this whole thing into the calculator and I got 20. So negative 2, 20. So my vertex, find the vertex, the coordinate. Write your answer as a point, negative 2, 20. Before I hit enter, I'm going to go check it. There's no reason to get these wrong today. Should be an easy 100 today. Go check. Negative 2, 20. So we got it right. Okay. Let's do one where we graph, and then I'll let you take a quiz. So if we get, I want to say like 18 questions, but that's too many. I know it's not 18 questions. Less than 18 questions. More than 10. I think it's closer to 15. Yeah. Unless they're quick, I try not to go to 20. 20 is a lot. Okay. The longest problem, because we can do everything here. So ax squared plus bx plus c. What is a, what is b, and what is c? Number of x squared, 1. Nice job. Make sure you take the sign with it, negative 14. And c is 40. All right, so we'll find our line of symmetry first. So x equals negative b over 2a. X equals negative b and then negative 14. So negative b, my 14 is negative, so that's going to make a positive 14. 2 negatives make a positive. So 14 divided by 2. 7. So there's my line of symmetry at 7. And it doesn't make you graph that. All it's going to make you graph is 5 points, roots and vertex. So we have to make sure we get those roots in there and the vertex. So I'm going to make a table. Maybe a little nicer than mine. 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7's going to be in the middle because that's our vertex, our axis of symmetry. And then I have to figure out what y is. So first I'm going to plug in 7 for x's. Right, Dre? So I'm plugging 7 in to figure out what the y is of my vertex. Go to Desmos. I'll come back to this one, but I'll go to scientific for now. We'll check it before we enter it. Where'd it go? X squared. And remember, scientific calculators can't use x's in scientific calculators. So you have to plug in a number to figure out what it is. I'm plugging in 7. You can. Let me show you. So plus. What did I just do? Put an 8, an x. I'm plugging in 7. So it's -1, even if I put the 1 there. So -1. 7. I plugged in 7. I got out -1. I plugged in 7. I got out -1. So that's 1 point. I need 5. What other points do I need to find? 8, 9, 6. So that'll give us 5 points. So 5, 6. I got to plug in 5. I got to plug in 6. And I got to plug in 5. Three. And plug in 6. 0. So 3 and 0. 5 is 3. 0 is 6. I know there's an easier way to do this. I'm making this hard. But 5 was 3. 6 was 0. So 6 is a root, and it tells me I have to graph my roots. And then you can reflect that over your line of symmetry to 8. 5, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you can reflect that over 1, 2, 1, 2. So 9, 3. So there are your 5 points. What do you think? Crazy. Before you hit enter, check it on Desmos, graph it. Make sure it's the same thing. And then you should get an easy 100 on this test. I do want you to try it directly, but don't say that's the end all be all. Go ahead and check it. The home button will bring you back to the center. So there we go. So make sure you have your vertex graphed and make sure you have your roots graphed. So 6080, because that's what it says right here. Include the roots in the vertex. So 7, 0, 791. And then 2 other nice points. So this one, 4. I could have used 4, 8. I didn't. I could have. I used 5, 3. I'm almost done, I promise. 5, 3. There you go. So that's what your quiz looks like. Let me stop my video.